Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Autoblog live stream. My name is Eric. I'm the multimedia producer here at Autoblog, and today I am joined by Autoblog news editor Joel Stocksdale. What is up, Joel?
Hi, everybody.
Man, we are here. Well, we're going to be continuing for the viewers. We're going to be continuing playing The Crew 2. Just because it seems like people have been enjoying it, and I've certainly been enjoying it. This game is right up my alley. Joel, have you ever played The Crew 2?
No, I haven't. I played a little bit of the first one, but I haven't played the second one.
Okay. Yeah, this is, when I started playing this game, all I could think was like, man, this is like what I always wish racing game. When I always feel like racing games are like good, but they're not quite scratching the itch that I specifically want them to scratch. This game is the game that I that I have been wanting in those instances for sure. So I am super happy to have discovered this, even though it's super late. I know. Josh Wheelhouse is here. What's up, Josh? Welcome. I am not entirely sure what I'm trying to do here in a boat in this game, but figure it out. But Joel, what have you been up to? It's been a little while since you've been on the stream.
Yeah, it has. I actually can't even remember the last time I was on. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But I've been up to things. Last week I had a Ford Bronco Sport to drive around.
Oh, nice.
And this week I've got a Chevy Corvette that I haven't taken out yet, but we'll be driving that this week.
Nice. Are you a fan of the Corvette?
For the most part, yeah. I've been very excited to finally, this is going to be the first time I've gotten to drive this mid-engine Corvette. I've been waiting a while and was really excited to finally get a shot at it.
Yeah. This is the one that we actually... Oh, thank you for the follow, Mickey, looks like. Yeah, thank you for the follow, Mickey Ian. Yeah, we actually unlocked the mid-engine Corvette on Forza just a few streams ago. Maybe as early as 2 weeks ago, probably. But
yeah, because that's a new addition to the game, isn't it?
Yes, very new, with the most recent update, I believe. But I certainly like the way it drives in the game. That doesn't say much about how it's gonna drive in real life, but still worth noting. Mm-hmm. If you're a Forza fan, it's a good one.
Yep.
Khalib, what's up, Khalib? Welcome. And Josh says, I feel the same way about this game. Haha, that's awesome. Yeah, it's super good. It's like, it's arcadey, but not in a way that's annoying. I feel like the unlocks all make sense. The controls are, I don't know why I just did that. The controls are tight, but you know, they're overly forgiving, I would say, but I would rather them be that direction for a game like this than the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's a game where, because you can, just anytime instantly switch from, boat to playing the car, correct?
You know, I think there is a way to do that, but I have not... The way that I know how to do it is still pretty instant. Let me see if I can figure it out here. It's gotta be... Yeah, we'll hop in the TTRS. Oh, thank you for the follow, Noah J. And Mad Max in the chat, and just a little clumsy muffin in the chat. That is really funny. What's up, guys? Mad Max says, how do you have 100K and 2 views? So we are, this is the official Autoblog.com live stream, and we embed this live stream on the Autoblog.com homepage. So at any one time, there are usually a fair amount of people on the Autoblog.com homepage. So a lot of people are viewing the stream on the homepage, and that is how. Whoa! But sometimes it takes a second to catch up. Basically, I just put the stream on the homepage as soon as we start streaming every week. So that is how. No view botting. People always like to come in here with their view bot accusations, but that is not something that we have ever done or would ever do, because that doesn't really make sense. Noah says, "Don't worry about the last name." Yeah, no, I was gonna attempt it, and then I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna butcher this." So, so I did not. But Joel, what have you been excited about in the world of cars lately? Anything, or has it just been kind of a standard beginning? Well, not quite standard beginning of the year, but as standard as it can be in these times.
I mean, last week was actually a pretty great week for car news, because we had the new F-150 Raptor revealed, and we had the new Nissan Frontier revealed. This week, just today, the Audi e-tron GT was revealed, which is Audi's high-performance electric car that's based on the Porsche Taycan.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was our story posted at the embargo time just under an hour ago, so that's really fresh.
Yeah, I have not even heard of that one yet. I'm gonna have to check that out.
I know, though, for a fact, because I know that you watch superhero movies, that you've seen the concept version of it lots of times.
Oh, is it
This is the car that appered in those Spider-Man Audi crossover commercials.
Yeah.
I think it was in the movie.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if it's a Tony Stark car.
I can't remember if Tony Stark ever drives it, but I think Peter Parker borrows it, in quotes, from Tony Stark in one of the movies. Or at least for the commercial or whatever.
Wow, nice. So then that's quite a lead time from that ad and this reveal then.
Well, and the concept came out even earlier than that. Let me double check when the concept came out, because that was a few years ago. 2018 LA Auto Show.
Oh, Noah says the last name is pronounced Jaya Wikrema. That's a very cool name. I like it.
Oh, and I need to look up F-150 Raptor price for our friend in the chat.
Yeah, that is actually my mother. Little known fact.
Ah.
She drives an F-150. To this day, she drives an old F-150. I think it's like an 80-something. Maybe it's not quite that old.
We do not have pricing for the Raptor yet.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So stay tuned. Should come a little later this year.
Yeah.
Probably this spring.
Noah says, my pronunciation was pretty close. Good job. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't nail it. I was so confident I really felt like I nailed it, but as long as you approve. Pretty close. I'll take a pretty close.
So here's the interesting thing about the e-tron compared with the Taycan. It's pricing like just about perfectly slots between different Taycan trims. I was literally just looking at this before I got onto the screen. So the Taycan actually has the cheapest base price at like right about $80,000. Then there's the base Audi e-tron, which is right about $100,000. And then it goes back to Taycan with the 4S trim at $104,000. And then it's Audi e-tron GTRS. Oh wait, no, not GTRS. Prestige trim at $107,000. And then you've got another e-tron at $140,000, and then Taycan again at $151,000.
Jeez.
So it kind of nests between different Taycan trims.
Yeah. Man, all of those numbers are so large, though. That's so much money.
I was legitimately surprised that you can get a Taycan for less than the Audi, but I think it's because you can get a Taycan in single motor rear drive only, whereas the base Audi is dual motor all-wheel drive. So I think that's where they got it as cheap, like Audi got it as cheap as they could, but I mean, if you leave out an entire motor and drive wheels, that'll get you a little extra.
Yeah, price savings. Let me catch up on the chat here. So my mom drives a 95 F-150. Noah said, I might be wrong, but I saw the base e-tron at $75K. You know, that might depend on where you are in the world as well, Noah. We're here in the United States. So that was all. I can only assume United States pricing in US dollars. Lil Clumsy Muffin says, I can't wait to graduate high school so I can get my first car. That's awesome. How much longer do you have to go? Nathan Razzo says hi. What's up, Nathan? Sonny. What's up, Sonny? Welcome. Noah says the single motor one he thought he saw for $75K.
Yeah, I mean, at least at the moment, all that Audi has officially announced is the base Audi e-tron GT Quattro, which will be dual motor all-wheel drive for $99,900 plus destination charge. If they do a single motor rear drive one, I'm sure it would come in under the Porsche, because Porsches just tend to have that extra premium on them.
Yeah, that's the Porsche tax.
But at least for now, Audi has only announced an all-wheel drive dual motor one, and that starts at just under $100K.
Man, so expensive. Nick, I hope I pronounced this right. Nikhil says, it's been over a year since I stopped playing this game. They've really improved the graphics. Yeah, so this is my first. I'm kind of a new-ish PC gamer, and I had never played this game other than on PC, and yeah, it looks great on PC. I'm not sure how this game looks or plays on console. But yeah, I only jumped into the PC game very recently, just a few months ago. Clumsy Muffin says they're looking at a JDM or a truck as their first vehicle. That is very cool. If you need any help in terms of like car shopping or tracking one down, we have a bunch of tools on our website, autoblog.com, that can help with that. Just FYI.
Boy, I'm looking at this map and it's all kinds of wonky.
It's crazy, right?
I mean, I totally get why. but it is weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So on the last stream, I did a Detroit race, and I feel like I probably was a little unfairly, because it doesn't really look like Detroit. So I was like, this is kind of generic. But then I over the weekend, I did have some COVID negative friends over. Not many, just 2. Very safe. I feel like you have to say that if you talk about
Yeah.
seeing people. And one of them actually lived in Detroit, and they were like, "No, this is actually like really dead on." And I think the thing that was just like messing me up, and I don't like no shade to Detroit, but it just is what it is. It's just like in this game, it's just like way too clean. Just like Detroit doesn't look like that. I mean, it just doesn't. Like, there's like no graffiti. There's no. It's just not. That's not Detroit. It's. But apparently, in terms of the roads, it's very accurate. So I did want to kind of correct myself, because I probably was a little unfair to it last week.
Oh my goodness.
What, are you looking at this vehicle I just hopped in? Sonny says, "What icon are you?" I don't know if I'm even icon level yet. I just started this game for the first time maybe 2 weeks ago, and I played it a little bit off stream, but I'm pretty much only playing it on stream. So I think I am like I think I just moved up to, well, here, let's see. Will it show?
Not gonna lie, I'm actually quite disappointed that nobody in real life is stuck in a Fiat 500 body on top of a like pro monster truck.
Yet, keyword yet.
Yeah. And also, I mean, putting one on like a legit real monster truck chassis, not because, boy, especially growing up in the Midwest, you see a lot of people slap like the Camaro body on top of like a truck frame,
Yeah.
and, like some mud tires.
Yes, you
Like,
do.
I'm not talking about something like that. Like every redneck in the world has built something like that. And
Yes.
and they're kind of terrible. I'm talking about like a legit monster truck, not a redneck mobile.
True. No, this game reminds me a lot of, not necessarily in the aesthetic, and really I can't even say with certainty even the gameplay, but it reminds me of the feeling I remember having when I was playing the crap out of Need for Speed Underground 2 when I was younger. And I think that's what really I like about this game. I'm sure the differences are slim to none in reality, but it's given me that same feeling.
Yeah, I mean, in Underground 2, you could not drive on any kind of dirt road.
Yeah,
or field or anything like that.
Yeah, and I know you couldn't fly or hit up a boat or anything like that either. But man, I feel like my controller is doing this thing it sometimes does, where it loses connection for like a millisecond at a time, and makes things feel all wonky, and it feels like it's, I don't know if this is just the weirdest feeling vehicle in this game, or if my controller is doing something weird here. But making it through still, without too much trouble. And I do see the chat moving. I will catch up on that after this race. We are 75% through. Have you been watching or reading or playing anything interesting lately, Joel?
So, I've actually been playing a video game, an older one that I missed out on because it was an Xbox 360 game, and at the time did not get very good reviews. It's Import Tuner Challenge for Xbox 360.
Okay.
And I can understand why kind of your typical game reviewer might not be into it. But if you're super into like Japanese tuner cars, and especially kind of like in Japan, Japan is known for like drifting and stuff, but also for a while, like, and in the 2000s, there was kind of the subculture of highway racers that would just spend all night like racing up and down the kind of like interstate style freeways, and it's all about that. So
nice.
Basically, the only roads that you can drive on are basically interstates.
Interesting.
And they are fairly straight. So I can see, and also, you are kind of forced to drive along with the flow of traffic. Like, you can't go opposite sides. You can't dart down
crazy
city streets or any. You can't like dart down city streets as shortcuts. You are on the freeway. That is where you are.
Man.
And so, like, I can totally see why somebody that was like playing Midnight Club or Need for Speed Underground. Yeah, so Celica GT mentions that it sounds a lot like Tokyo Extreme Racer, which was a game series on PlayStation 2. And there's a reason for that. Import Tuner Challenge is actually from the same people that did the Tokyo Extreme Racer games.
Wow.
They're all part of...
What a call out by Celica.
Yeah. They're all part of a series that was sold in Japan as, I think, Shutoko Battle. So in Japan, they were all part of the same, like, game series name. But in the US, it had, like, different publishers, and so got different titles.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically the final Tokyo Extreme Racer game that was released in the US. And I've actually had a whole lot of fun with it. I've just about beat it 100%.
Wow, that's awesome.
Because it's one of those things where, like, I don't know. There's something about it that kind of gets me in kind of that, wow, you're really stuck there.
Yeah, I was gonna try to get out, but just reset. Oh, I'm stuck again.
There's something about it that kind of like gets you into this one more race.
Yeah.
Feel where like you finish one.
I love that.
Okay, I'm gonna do one more. Okay, I'm gonna do one more.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
I promise I'll stop after this one. But like it just kind of, because the thing is that like you initiate races by pulling up next to somebody and flashing your lights and starting a race, and then like as soon as you finish one, you're back on the road and like it's just like the next guy you come across. It's like, all right, let's go again. And it just kind of like you can get this kind of flow going, and you start to forget about time.
That's awesome. I absolutely love when games have that effect on you. That is, whoa! This is a bear. Why is a bear just chilling so close? You cannot run over the bear. Fun fact.
You can push him.
You can push him.
So it does exist. You don't just like go through him.
Man, well that sounds awesome. And so let me catch up on the chat here. Noah bought an MK5 for my first car. I feel like that's a solid choice. Clumsy Muffin says, go to New Orleans. They have gators there. Okay. I'll do a race there. Nikhil says, I played this on my PS4, and also I got the name right. I love it. Let's see. Noah says, a Fiat Panda monster truck is out there.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Sonny says you got to get used to the turning in this game. Yeah, okay, then yeah, I have no. I do think it's just because since this is a monster truck, it has like the back wheels are turning as well, so that was kind of messing me up a little. But I think I got it now. Clumsy Muffin is looking at a Mustang for the first vehicle. That'd be awesome. And then Celica's here. I referenced Celica, but what's up, Celica? It's been a little while. Hope you're doing well. Elementally Music. What's up, Elementally? Celica says there's a charm to those. It's on the Microsoft Store. Then Elementally says it is fun to just play and play and play. I agree. Alright, rally raid time in a Mercedes-Benz X-Class.
Boy, that was a... Mercedes-Benz X-Class is such a weird thing. Like, it didn't last long. I think it's been discontinued already.
Really? I feel like it's still brand new.
Well, I mean, that's the
Wow.
thing.
Yeah.
It was introduced just... Yeah, it was introduced just a couple years ago, and then it was
Yeah.
discontinued.
Wow.
Which, I mean...
Nobody wanted it, I guess.
I mean, I feel like luxury automakers have a hard time selling pickup trucks. Like, that was even the case here in the States, where, like, Lincoln had the Blackwood and also the Mark LT, which the Blackwood was pretty unique. Like, it had a more unique style to it than an F-150, and it also had a, like, power bed cover that was neat, but also kind of made the bed much less useful.
Right.
Because there was no easy way to remove it. So it didn't sell well in part because it wasn't super functional as a truck.
Yeah, I
then-
guess that's the main thing a truck should be is functional as a truck, I would say.
And then the Mark LT that came out later was like so obviously an F-150 with Lincoln badges.
Yeah.
And like Cadillac had the Escalade EXT, which was the fancy version of the Chevy Avalanche. But like, I think it's one of these things where truck buyers don't actually want like a luxury brand.
I was
kind
just
of-
gonna say that. I completely agree. It's like prissy almost. It's like
Exactly.
Yeah, I completely agree with that theory.
Because the thing is, they do like luxury, and that's why you've
Yes.
got things like the King Ranch F-150 and the Chevy Silverado High Country and GMC Yukon Denali.
Yeah.
Like, those are all super plush, but they all still have the, like, more down-to-earth brands of, like, Ford and Chevy and GMC.
Yup. No, I totally agree. I think probably a big part of it is like an image thing.
And I bet that was the thing with, like, Mercedes. It was like, well, Mercedes buyers don't want a truck because it's a truck.
Right.
And then pickup truck buyers don't want the Mercedes because it's a Mercedes.
Yep.
Also, this particular Mercedes was technically a Nissan underneath.
Oh man.
Now, you could get it with Mercedes engines, but I don't think... But again, those Mercedes engines were like, I think like gas engines, and in Europe, I don't think a lot of truck buyers want to buy a gas engine vehicle because gas is really expensive in Europe, and also like not super torque. Like, truck buyers in Europe want a diesel.
Yeah.
They want the torque, they want the more affordable fuel, and they want the better fuel economy.
Yep. I think that is dead on. Oh man, okay, so we got Just My AMG is here. What's up, Just My AMG? Just My Yam. And they say, yes, I do love my luxury. So there you go. Clumsy Muffin says, which is your first free rally raid car? That's a good question. Let me see if I can try to spark my memory here for you. Let's see. I don't remember off the top of my head. Honestly, it might be the X-Class in this game, Clumsy Muffin. It might be the X-Class.
So Celica GT asked about the X-Class, if it was a Frontier underneath. It wasn't a Frontier. It's the Nissan Navara, which is the small pickup truck that Nissan sells everywhere except the U.S. For a while in the 90s and early 2000s, the Frontier and Navara were effectively the same truck, but they diverged at some point. And now with the new Frontier that was revealed last week, it's using a heavily revised version of the old Frontier frame and is not related to the Navara. Also, Little Clumsy Muffin asks, Nissan 240SX or Ford Mustang? And
I think they're asking as like a first car.
Yeah. So, like,
I mean, how comfortable are you with being memed to death? Because if you get a Mustang, you're gonna have to deal with memes from your friends, I'm sure. But I like Mustangs. I feel like the Mustang memes go a little too far sometimes.
Well, I think they're...
I mean, there's some truth to them.
I think they're mostly tongue-in-cheek?
Yeah,
Mark.
Yeah, I think sometimes there are, but I think... now that I really am thinking about it, I feel like lately they become more tongue-in-cheek, but I feel like there was some real venom between like Mustang and like Camaro owners for a few years ago on the internet. It seemed like very...
Well, between Mustang and Camaro people, that's been the case.
Yeah, true.
Both cars launched.
True. Maybe they just took the meme and like really went crazy with it.
Yeah. So like the thing with the 240SX is you've got to find one at this point, because they stopped selling them here in the U.S. in 1995. And they've all been snapped up by people that have been using them as like drift cars, track cars, and things. Like it's getting hard to find a good clean 240SX anymore, especially one with a manual transmission. Because honestly, you wouldn't really want one with an automatic. The base engine the engine that comes on the US 240SX is not amazing. It doesn't have a great aftermarket to it, and it's not super exciting stock. Like one of the big draws of that car is being able to switch in the Japanese market SR20 engine, which was factory turbocharged and is really burly and can take a lot of performance enhancement. I think a Mustang would be a lot easier to find, and you could probably find a V8 one for not too expensive. And actually, even like the V6 ones starting as far back as 2011, I think, got the 3.6 liter V6, which is actually a solid engine. Like that's a pretty good V6 Mustang. So I would actually probably like, unless you really like are into like super into like imports and especially Nissans, I would say like the Mustang is probably your better bet. You're probably going to be able to find a nicer one, a more powerful car. Like I think I would be leaning toward Mustang. I mean, I would dig a 240SX, but like they're hard to find at this point, and they're old.
Which that's true too.
Which I'm fine with, like old cars, but like, I mean, you just have to ask yourself if you're all right with old cars. I mean, it's gonna be louder on the highway. It's not gonna have many safety features. I mean, like late ones will have airbags, but earlier ones won't.
You're for sure gonna have to upgrade that stereo system.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you got a cassette deck, you can still get those adapters.
Yeah, true, very true. Wow, Rachel is way out in front here. We're trying to make this jump. Also, I think I missed Zach in the chat. What's up, Zach? If you're still around, sorry I missed you. And the Bjorkley is back. What's up, Bjorkley?
I like the sound of that, Bjorkley.
I know, isn't that great? Man,
actually,
go ahead.
What Zach actually Zach just bringing up some other Nissans. You know, maybe better than looking for a 240SX would be to look for a 350Z.
Oh,
those
there you
are
go.
actually pretty darn cheap now. They're a lot more modern. Have a much more enjoyable, more powerful power plant than the 240SX would. It's not as practical as a Mustang or a 240SX because it's a two-seat car, and while it is technically a hatchback, there's a big shock tower brace right across the cargo area that kind of takes up some room.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I just blew it. I gotta restart. I just blew it. Man.
Or even, actually, just thinking of like other things, used Scion FRS or Subaru BRZ are good ones to look at too, and those would be like similarly practical to a Mustang. Lots and lots of fun to drive. A little noisy, but like that's probably the closest thing that has existed in a long time that would be similar to like a 240SX, but like as a newer car. But yeah, the FRS and BRZ, they're fantastic to drive. Lots of fun. And they've got enough power to be enjoyable, but not so much that you're really going to get yourself into trouble.
That's good. That seems like the appropriate amount of power.
Yeah.
For 99.9% of people.
Huge aftermarket too, so if you want more power, you can get it.
Hey. Yeah, sorry I had to restart this race, everybody. I blew it at the end. The boats are kind of tough. You have to get top speed, you have to be constantly pulling back on the left thumbstick to basically to like raise the front of your boat, and it is very weird. But I appreciate that it's like, you know, they're trying to differentiate it from just being racing cars on the water, which I get.
So it looks like, are there like multiple like boat models available in the game?
Yes, there are. As a matter of
fact,
there are. You know what? I'll actually go through. Allow me to try to sell you on this game, Joel, because I feel like there's so much to it. I mean, there are like F1 cars. There are. Oh no, I missed. There's a shortcut there that I'm missing. I caught it that time. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. Like, I honestly was pretty blown away with the amount of things that you can do in this game. Super pleasantly surprised. I think Rachel still has me beat here. Yup. Dang. The Bjorkley says, Autoblog, do you remember me? Not only do I remember you, Bjorkley, but I remember you asked me that exact same question the last time that you were here. So yes, I do. Yes, I do remember you. Let's see. Man, there's a lot going on in the chat here. No way! Just my AMG says my SUV got totaled by a Mustang hitting me. Dang. The Bjorkley says, why does everyone like my name? It's a good one. Flows off the tongue. Rolls off the tongue is the saying. Alright, cool. So let me... Yeah, there's this, like... So these main, like, hubs, they have all these disciplines you can do. I believe this is how you see, like, the different races. Here we go. What do we got here? Oh, motocross is another one. Rallycross? Huge. Hovercrafts? Oh my god. I might have to do a rallycross here. To buy one first, I think. What is your preferred classic rally car, Joel?
I mean, there are a lot of really good ones.
Yeah.
I think my favorite era of like rally cars is kind of 90s to early 2000s, where they were actually pretty close to being based on production cars. You had like Toyota Celicas, Subaru Imprezas, Mitsubishi Lancer Evos, like a lot of stuff that had like production counterparts, so you could actually own a car that was similar to the rally car. I mean, then there's stuff like that Launcher 037 that you're looking at from like the Group B era, which are cool because there's like almost no rules to them. Like they just made them as fast and as light as possible. So you got really cool race cars, although they had like no connection to the production cars really.
Is this brand pronounced Lancia?
Yes.
Wow. I have, in my brain has been mispronouncing that aggressively for the entirety of the time I've seen that word. I don't know if I've ever really said it out loud, but I've always just assumed it was Lancia.
Which I don't think anybody would be like super upset if you pronounced it that way.
Yeah.
It's not that far off.
Yeah, I mean I like to get it right though. I think I'm gonna go with that vehicle. It's a lot of cash, but
I actually that little Fiat 124 rally car, I'm actually kind of a fan of that thing.
Yeah.
Partly because it looks really cool, and it is actually because the Fiat 124 is technically a Mazda Miata, but with a Fiat engine. I mean, it gets bonus points for me as a Miata fan. But also, when I was on a Fiat trip at Laguna Seca, they had the rally car out and they fired it up. That thing sounds amazing. Like
Nice.
It sounds exactly the way you would hope like a high-strung turbo Italian four-cylinder would sound. It's just like this angry little thing.
That's awesome. I do like I think it's so funny that we as a society have somehow come to the conclusion that fast cars, like we use the word like angry and mean for fast cars, but I feel like it's so appropriate. Like I enjoy it. But I do like angry looking cars and like mean looking cars and mean sounding cars.
See that?
Well, I kind of think it's maybe something to do with like
It's my time to shine, which
like you hear a loud car is usually very powerful, and like
Yes,
just
totally.
kind of associate with like roars and growls and like things that angry carnivores do.
Yeah.
I knew you would.
For sure.
They
Zach
move fast
says
and they make loud noises.
Yeah. I never thought about it from like an Animal Kingdom. Yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right. Zach says I need your opinion on Ford F-150. What's
Like be more specific.
Yeah, what specifically, Zach? What are you looking for?
What the hell are you doing in this race? I thought I told you this one was mine.
It is so interesting to me what different games consider to be Rallycross specifically. Because WRC's Rallycross is, I'm sorry, Dirt Rally 2's Rallycross is very different from this Rallycross, which is very different from V-Rally 4 Rallycross. Gamer King, what's up, Gamer King? Are you're the same Gamer King from days past? Yeah, yes, I'm on Twitch instead of YouTube. What's up? How's it been going? And then Celica says Impreza 22B is low-key the GOAT, even though the Celica GT4 has a soft spot in my heart. Whoa.
Okay, I like that ski slope for the racetrack. I mean, you would have many, many broken cars in
Yes.
your life doing that, but for a video game, that rocks.
Yeah, I love stuff like that.
I remember in Burnout Paradise, in the expansion that was, oh gosh, what was it called? Big Surf Island. There was a like a super mega jump that was basically you went up a ski slope the other way and then jumped off the back of the mountain. It was awesome.
I love it.
You got so much hang time off of it.
Yeah, stuff like that is the absolute best. I love those wild kinds of racing game stunts.
It's that kind of stuff, which is why EA should make another Burnout.
I mean, true, but you know my feelings on EA.
Well, it's just they're the ones.
But you're
that,
right.
They're the ones that own the
Yeah.
franchise. So.
Yes. To my great dismay.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But I don't think we've talked about, I mean, possibly the greatest day of the last 10 years of my life that they announced, of my gaming life at least, that they announced that EA no longer had a stranglehold on the Star Wars license.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely incredible.
There's no TV cameras where we do our
Yeah,
What is
so-
this now?
So the next game that's coming out for Star Wars, it's a Ubisoft game, right?
I don't know if that's the next game, but that's they announced that when it's coming up soon. It's an open world Ubisoft game. Did we talk about this?
Which
I feel like it's
I don't
ringing a
know.
bell, kinda.
Which when I hear like it's gonna be an open world Ubisoft game, it's like, oh, for heaven's sakes, like can we not do an open world game with Ubisoft? Does it always have to be that?
Yes, it does, and I, for one, greatly approve. And I mean, this is an Ubisoft game. This is technically an open world Ubisoft game. Right now?
But you know what I mean. It's like so many Ubisoft games all feel like each other, like Watch Dogs and
Assassin's Creed.
And
If it makes you feel better, the team
Far Cry.
the team that is working on this game is the team that makes The Division, which I have actually never played.
I actually haven't either.
But wait a minute, is this the meme song? This is the meme song.
Hmm?
This this song is used in many a TikTok, but and I just realized it was in this game. But no, I'm super. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Assassin's Creed games. They have their issues, obviously, but oh my god! But like, literally, if they made Assassin's Creed Coruscant, that would be the only game I ever played for like the next year of my life for sure.
And like, I can enjoy an open world game. It's just that Ubisoft just seems to have this tendency to like copy paste a whole bunch of the same stuff all over a map and stuff it full of like very samey like collectibles and samey missions and
Yeah, no, that is for sure. The bloat, at least with the
Yes,
last Assassin's
that's the
Creed
word.
game, is very real, for sure.
like it just seems like they stuff stuff in there to like justify the size of the map and to pad out the game's length.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. I guess the thing that I think, well, a couple things give me hope. One, I've got to imagine being the first non-EA Star Wars, potentially the first non-EA Star Wars game in a decade, they got to bring beyond their A game, and I'm sure they know that. Also, it's Star Wars, so, I mean, that brings with it a, you know, I mean, I'm sure they know they're going to have to knock it out of the park, so that does give me a little, that does give me a little hope. But then the other thing is I think that by default, they will be forced to not do their classic move of just stuffing a map full of needless garbage, because I assume if they do it right, it's going to be... they're calling it open world, but they're going to have to be planet hopping on some level, right? So
That's another thing. It's like you can't keep it to the same map. It's
Yeah.
like that's very antithetical to Star Wars. It's
Yeah.
like you're going everywhere.
Yeah, so that does give me a little hope to where, like, they literally just won't have time. Oh, thank you for the host, Champ the cute dog.
Puppy raid.
I love it. That's the best. Thank you. That is very appreciated. Zach says F-150s are good, but they're all the same-ish. I mean, I guess, but if that's what you're looking for, then you know what you're gonna get, I guess. Alright, so this is a Demolition Derby, I think, which I have not done yet. Is this a race as well, though?
Thinking of dogs, I have a snoring one right now on the couch.
Yeah, my dog has already done the move of sitting very politely 6 inches away from the couch, just staring at me, trying to get me to throw the ball.
Oh, I forget. Did I mention that, like, about a month or so ago, I kind of picked up, I'm blanking on the name of it. The Star Wars Jedi game that came out.
Fallen Order?
Yes.
Yeah. We have not talked about this.
So, I played it for a while. I don't know. Maybe if I turn down the difficulty on it, maybe I'll be able to keep going on it. But
it's rough, and it did not scratch the itch of what I wanted from a Star Wars game at all. I thought that game got a little overhyped just because people were like, it's Dark Souls Star Wars, oh my god, it has to be a 10. It's like, does it though? But yeah,
I mean, like it does look nice. And
what system are you playing it on?
PS4.
Oh, okay.
On a launch spec system.
Like an OG PS4?
Yeah.
Oh wow. So okay. The reason I ask and reacted that way is because I thought it looked awful on my Xbox One S. But then I've seen gameplay on like a PC and better systems, and it does look great.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it looked fine.
Okay.
And like, I think the story would probably be interesting, but man, I suck.
Yeah,
at
it
the
is.
Combat.
It is tough.
Because I don't think that I don't think it's bad combat. I think I just suck at it.
Yeah, no, totally. But it's not... I don't think it's bad combat either, but I also don't think that you suck at it. I think that it is like...
And
I think
also don't have the
it's
patience-
prohibitive.
I also don't have the patience to get good at it.
Exactly. Well, it's that, but then there's also no definitive way. The game does not help you get better at all, which I didn't like at all. I mean, other than the fact that, like, you get power-ups and stuff, but that's not what I mean. I mean, like, the game doesn't teach you how to play it very well at all, which I didn't like about that game.
Yeah.
And
Well,
which I assume I would find frustrating about the Dark Souls games, which I've never played them. But yeah, that just seems so frustrating. It's like, I don't want to play a game and lose to the first boss 20 times in a row. Like,
are you talking about Autoblog?
yeah, or I mean, I meant just in general, but yeah, So here's a fun fact about that particular boss, though, is if you there's a hole on top of where he is. If you jump down on him, yeah, you can jump down on him and take like half his HP. It makes it a lot easier.
But even then, that other half is so brutal.
Yes, totally. But it's like, I don't think that's a good way to learn how to play a game. Like, it's just die 20 times and suffer through it.
And then I was reading stories about how, like, really, it's actually a boss that you're meant to come back to later. It's not really meant to be something that you take on early on.
Yeah, I guess, but that's... I mean,
No, I know. It still
it's a
seems
cop-out.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get that. But also,
and then
if that
also
were true, then the game should, like... Again, the game does nothing to tell you that. Because you just wander up on this guy, and you just get stomped over and over and over and over again if you don't... Like, if you didn't previously know that. And there would be no way to...
And you think
out.
that, oh, it's the first planet. Like, I should be able to clear this whole place.
Totally.
Yeah, well, and also the Dark Souls
see ya, Bjorkley.
style...
Sorry. Adios, Bjorkley. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah. And also, like, the Dark Souls style saving system is pretty painful, too.
Yeah, that's brutal. And, like... I don't know, I get... And it is so... Maybe I just haven't found the right one to, like, get me started on those kinds of games. But, like, if the Star Wars one isn't the right one, then I don't, maybe I'm just not meant for those kinds of games.
Well, that's the conclusion I've come to. Because the other thing is every review I've ever read of Fallen Order is that it's significantly easier than actual Dark Souls.
Right, which seems insane.
Mm.
But what does always make me wonder, though, and the other one, I don't really have any interest in the Dark Souls games, but I do have an interest for whatever reason in Bloodborne. I don't know why.
I'm kind of in a similar, like, if I was going to pick them up, I would probably be most interested in playing Bloodborne.
Yeah. Same,
I
for
think
sure.
It might be like the setting.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Because it's not just another very, like, medieval high fantasy environment or, like, a samurai, like, location. It's kind of a more, like, not quite, like just barely, like, pre-industrial revolution kind of setting.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is represented quite as well as those other settings.
Yeah, just like gothic horror, which I get. Like, that's a cool aesthetic, but yeah, I don't know. But what confuses me, though, is one of my favorite games ever of all time, easily, is Hollow Knight, which many people describe as a 2D Dark Souls in terms of its difficulty, but I guess the difference is I don't know.
Well, the other thing, from what I've seen of Hollow Knight, it looks like it's very different gameplay. Because the Dark Souls games are very, very much about kind of
like
a specific kind of combat. Yeah, like timing your blocks, timing your attacks.
So that actually is the part in Hollow Knight that is very. I mean, you for sure have to like you are gonna get stomped, for sure, in a game like Hollow Knight if you don't time that out. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just naturally my brain can like compute 2D easier than it can compute 3D. Maybe
That might be, because I mean the other thing is that you're relying so much on understanding what your opponent is about to do and seeing the signals of like what their next moves are going to be.
Yeah.
And I know that for me, that's one of the things that I have a lot of difficulty with, is that like I have such a hard time reading like, oh, that's what he's going to come from the left or the right, or like, and I mean in 2D, I mean he's always either coming left or right. I mean, like you can tell what direction it's coming from, and it's either going to be like high or low, basically.
Yeah.
And I think it's maybe a little easier to kind of tell what that's going to be.
Yeah, no, I think I probably agree, and like I do wonder if, yeah, because I didn't feel Hollow Knight's hard, but it's not like. I don't know. I mean, people talk about it like it's ridiculously hard, and I don't know if it's ridiculously hard. But I do feel like Dark Souls is in that ridiculously hard spectrum, so that does... these cars cost $2 million, so I'm clearly nowhere close to being able to afford this. But...
Oh, and the other thing that was... that I realized was also kind of bugging me a little bit with Fallen Order was that I was like, I have a lightsaber, and the way I'm interacting, it's like I've got like a baton instead of a lightsaber. It's
yes.
like, I should be slicing through everything that comes in. Like, I'm not entirely sure that this gameplay is especially suited to a lightsaber.
Yeah, and
which
what's
can
so
only be stopped by Beskar.
Yeah, and what's so unfortunate is that I've read that is Disney's call. That's not like they will not allow basically dismemberment unless they will allow dismemberment in like key scenes, but in just like, normal fighting.
Dismemberment is like what the Star Wars universe is
right.
based on.
Exactly.
There's so many people losing arms and hands.
Exactly.
or being split. I mean, those are some of the most significant moments in Star Wars, like when Darth Maul is cut in half, or when Luke loses his hand. It's like
keeping your eyes on the course.
Dismemberment is kind of what this series is about.
For sure, and I think that maybe. I do think that maybe their point is like they want to keep, because I remember reading this thing where they said that like it's okay for like key moments, but in just normal battles, can't do it. With the exception of droids, I think they have no problem if you want to chop up droids. But
well, I honestly kind of think half the reason that the prequel trilogy had a drone army was so that they could just chop up
just go
droids
ballistic,
left and right. Like, they're just piles of bolts. It's like, who cares?
Yep, 100%, 100%.
Except then the moral quandary becomes like, but wait a minute, we care about like C-3PO and R2-D2, and they have
It's
fully
like
formed personalities. And it's like, wait a minute, where do we draw the line here?
Yeah, and it's like I don't think it was done the best it could have been, but I did like in the Han Solo movie that they at least kind of addressed that. It's like, are these droids like self-aware? Like, are they like, what's the deal here?
Is it just really good programming, or is it something?
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I totally agree. That is a huge thing that is often glossed over in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, I feel though like a lot of things in Star Wars, it's like don't look too close, because it's gonna fall apart pretty fast.
Totally. Is Star Wars space really a vacuum, the way that our space is a vacuum? Because it seems like probably not. Like,
the way ships can maneuver.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I get Disney being uncomfortable with the idea of somewhat graphic violence. Although, I mean, the benefit of a lightsaber, it automatically, like, by its nature, it automatically cauterizes wounds. So
Yeah,
it's like,
for
it's not,
sure.
It's not blood.
Right.
You're not gonna have like organs hanging out.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like gory. But yeah, I don't. Oh, what is this live extreme series episode 2? But no, I was more underwhelmed with that Star Wars game than the general consensus seemed to be.
Yeah.
I did beat it, but it was brutal, and especially at the end. I would say there's a specific fight that wasn't even the boss fight that.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast.
I mean, I must have
Getting
run
ready for the
50
second stop
times.
on the live
It
Extreme
was
Tour.
infuriating. It
Last time
wasn't
we hit
fun.
the city
Like
streets,
there's no sense
we're
of
also
fun
going
when you have to do the same
wild.
thing 50 times, and when the save space is like not. I think maybe the reason it's less infuriating about Hollow Knight because you reload just like instantly, basically. Like it's not a big deal when you die, but
That makes a big difference. 'cause
Yeah.
in these Souls-like games, you get booted back to the last
Yeah.
like save point, and it's just like, okay,
Yeah,
so I gotta like make my way back over to the boss arena.
yeah, you have to do a platforming challenge, and then you have to do like the intentionally the most difficult fight of all time. It doesn't. It's so mean. Like, how is that fun? It's 2021. Games don't have to be like that anymore.
Well, and it all had me kind of thinking back to the Force Unleashed games. That,
Yeah.
That I enjoyed. And
I did
I'm
too.
not actually that into sort of like melee brawler kind of games,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed it, and it also kind of felt. It kind of. I felt like the gameplay kind of fit sort of the idea of being a Jedi and wielding a lightsaber and force powers a little bit
Yeah,
more.
totally.
Because you were like super like. You're gonna be like crazy overpowered as a Jedi.
Yes.
Between having a sword that cuts through anything like butter, and
Yeah.
being able to toss people around at a distance, it's like you're going to be grossly overpowered.
Yeah.
Whereas in Fallen Order, you feel kind of weak, and that doesn't seem right.
Yeah. Yes. How is a Jedi losing to a giant frog in any context? A baby Jedi should be able to
even,
kill
like,
that frog.
Or even just a couple of stormtroopers.
Yeah. No,
'Cause
I
a couple of
totally. Yeah,
stormtroopers can finish
100%.
you off. Like, they're tough.
Yeah.
They aim well, and they've got powerful weapons.
No,
And that's not normal.
And now for the big moment.
Oh wow.
It's time for us to switch up the competition.
Switch to a boat.
Can a driver run
No, I
first like
completely
that
agree.
still
I
be called
completely
a challenger?
agree. I also enjoyed the Force Unleashed games, and I really love the concept of that character, and I hope they find a way to bring him back in canon. Like, I love the idea that Darth Vader has a secret apprentice who is just ridiculously powerful in the Force, like Vader. I feel like that's awesome.
Yeah.
And
The
that concept
the
I
first
hope
one
they
had
bring
a
back.
great story, and that first story was pretty well contained.
Yeah.
The second one was kind of a mess.
I don't.
Story-wise.
Is the second, and I guess spoilers for this game that isn't canon and also 10 years old, but
I mean, it was canon at one point.
true, it was at one point. Thank you for the follow, Mecha Lure. That is much appreciated. But no, was the second one where they was the cloning addressed in the first one or the second one? I guess
That
is my
was
question.
it was brought up in the second one,
Okay.
and it wasn't even like properly
And it's up
resolved
and
at the end
over
of the
ramp
game
and into
either.
that
Yeah, that's classic.
At Live,
It was.
we're proud
It
of
really,
giving you races
actually,
no
it
one
felt a
else can.
whole lot like
Drivers must master it
Rise
all
of Skywalker,
or be
but
left
video
behind.
game form.
They've got
Yeah,
just
ooh,
one
yeah.
It's like sudden
Yeah, I
clone
could see that.
stuff.
Yeah, that's literally might as well have just said that. Yeah, it's just some clone stuff. Whatever, you get it. Next game.
Yeah, so they never properly resolved. So like, in a lot of ways, like I would almost say like don't play Force Unleashed 2 unless like you just really, really, really love the gameplay of Force Unleashed 1.
Yeah, which I would say. Yeah, I mean, I would say if you like Star Wars, yeah, play Force Unleashed 2, but just don't know what you're getting into. Don't expect
It's not a good Star Wars story.
Yeah.
Fun game, not good, not a good story.
Yeah.
But the first one is a fun game and has a really good story.
True. And I love is the first one where you start, like the tutorial mission is you actually are Vader.
Yes, yeah, you start as Darth Vader on Kashyyyk, just
wrecking everything. That is maybe one of my favorite tutorial missions in video games, for sure. I remember loving it, and to be honest, that scene in that game really contributed to my dislike of Darth Vader's scene in Rogue One, because I felt like that is like the perfect interpretation of Vader at the height of his strength was that Vader, and that's what I wanted. I just wanted Vader in Rogue One to be way more destructive, like way more. Just I always imagine Vader just seething underneath his suit, and yeah, and I've said this many times. In Rogue One, I just feel like his just movements just seem so like limp, and just like not all powerful.
Isn't that a little bit kind of the effect of like having to sort of like do digital doubles and like, because I feel like there have been a lot of scenes like that in a lot of like recent Star Wars stuff where they bring back old characters.
You're trying to not spoil a big thing for yeah. I see. I'm on board with what you're saying now.
Where they're just kind of they can't have that character move too much because they need to do other things.
But not for Vader. I mean, Vader's just a guy in a suit.
I guess that's true. They should have had like, well, and I guess the scene doesn't really give a lot of opportunity to show much either.
True.
Because like it's basically just a hallway and they're just talking, right? In Rogue One.
Well, no. At the end of Rogue One, Vader fights like.
Oh, I forgot about that stuff.
Yeah. And that's I had no problem with his look in Rogue One, but specifically his fighting style, I just felt it just wasn't angry enough, it wasn't brutal enough, and it wasn't like powerful. Like that's not how I imagine the Dark Lord of the Sith to be. I mean, he's just kind of lazily flapping around his lightsaber, which maybe the attempt was like, oh look, like he doesn't even have to try. But to me, it came off as this is like an 80-year-old man flopping around his lightsaber, and just I don't know, it didn't hit for me. But I know that's a controversial opinion. But the other cameo that you were referring to, which I will not spoil either, I do think the action hit a little bit better for me, just because I feel like that made more sense for the character. It shouldn't be brutal and angry. It should be a little more fluid and like a little more, light touch for that specific character.
I think I was thinking more about like when there's actually dialogue and you can see the person's face.
Yeah, that's a whole different. Yeah, that's a whole different.
That felt awkward.
Yeah,
and I don't just mean that scene that we're talking about. I also mean like scenes with like General Tarkin and young Leia.
Totally, it's always weird.
Recent movies, it's just like something just doesn't seem like they're moving naturally.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely in the uncanny valley. Still, for sure. But I really do think that
although, why are we really like everybody knows that scene at this point? Like, no.
Yeah,
like,
but I still Yeah, but
Like, that even got spoiled for me, and that was
yeah.
like, I was only a day off, whereas I managed to avoid like the story points of Rise of Skywalker for months.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Although it might have been because nobody liked it, so nobody wanted
True.
to talk about it.
True. And I guess the only reason is like it's still only like a month or so old at this point, so I don't begrudge people if they want to maybe
It's like,
yeah. I don't
it's just like everybody launched like a blog post or a Twitter post
Yeah.
because they just like completely flipped out. Like,
Yeah.
it was impossible to avoid.
No, that is true. That is true. But I totally agree in terms of the CGI. But I do think that we are so close to the point where that is going to be seamless. And in fact, an example of that is I think that in a few of the Marvel movies, the de-aging is unbelievably like I've never seen anything like it. And the example that I'm thinking of is, oh God, what's his name? The Hank Pym and Ant-Man. Sheen? No.
Martin Sheen.
Is it Martin? I don't think it's Martin Sheen, but whoever plays the older Ant-Man, Hank Pym.
I know
Ant-Man,
who you're talking about.
There's a specific scene where that guy is de-aged, and I have never been more blown away by like CGI in any movie ever. It's truly astounding, and if they can get that quality for every time they do it, and then obviously just continue improving on it, then I feel like sure, then get a little more crazy with doing stuff like that. But I feel like until we get to that moment, maybe movie studios should show. But also, maybe that's how we get to that moment, is we just have to have a bunch of mediocre implementations of the technology.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll get there.
we didn't get here today without Uncanny Valley.
True.
Dang it. Why am I
Dwayne The Rock Johnson playing the Scorpion King in The Mummy.
Oh, well, there was that, but I was actually thinking more from Tron Legacy.
Oh, Kurt Russell?
No, not Kurt Russell. Dang it, it's killing me that I can't remember his name. Because he's the dude. He's the Big Lebowski.
Oh,
What?
Jeff Bridges.
Yes, Jeff Bridges.
Yes.
That's it. Uncanny Valley, Jeff Bridges.
Yeah,
In that movie.
yeah.
Which, to be honest,
Yeah, it wasn't even
looking
that
back,
long ago.
Well, it was over a decade ago, I think, at this point. I think it was
Really?
before 2010. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Tron Legacy?
Yeah, I'm gonna look this up.
That will blow my mind if it was 10 years
2010.
ago.
So, yep, it was 10 years ago.
Oh my god.
Now,
Time.
To
Oh.
be honest, I think they almost made that uncanniness work because it's mostly used on Jeff Bridges' program character Clue, which is modeled off of him, but obviously isn't gonna be
Right,
exactly
yeah.
him. And so in some
Meant
ways
to be a
it's like,
digital character anyways.
right. So in some ways it's like, actually in retrospect, I mean, sure, people were like, yeah, Uncanny Valley young Jeff Bridges is really freaky, but also like, if you think about it in terms of the story, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
And, like,
totally.
It kind of works.
Yeah, that makes sense. That is a movie. So I've never seen Tron Legacy. I'm a big fan of the soundtrack.
Really?
Yeah, but and I know the reason why is because I've never seen Tron, and I know that people say you don't need to see Tron, but I want to see Tron. But now that I have Disney Plus, maybe that is like a 1-2 punch I should give a try to at some point in 2021. Seems like the
Yeah,
kind
you
of thing I'd be into.
You don't have to have seen the first one, but I think seeing the first one does give you a lot of helpful context.
Yeah, totally.
And then there will be little things that you'll appreciate also that are nice throwbacks, but aren't like super blatant fan service.
Nice.
Look at this place.
And
Nothing but
straight up,
rocks and sand as far
neither
as
of them are amazing
Oh,
movies.
that's why I didn't-
Okay.
Uh,
Just kind of decent good middle of the road sci-fi flicks.
Yeah, like
All right. I don't
like
hate
when
that.
Tron Legacy came out, lots of people complained about it not being very good. But like I've looked like in retrospect, like watching the original one also, the original one isn't actually that good either.
Yeah.
But they both have super awesome visual effects and super awesome soundtracks.
Yes.
And sometimes I think you can get away with that.
Yeah, no, totally. Not every movie. I was just talking about this with a friend of mine over the weekend. It's like not every movie needs to be the greatest movie ever made. And I'm starting to get really sick of like all of these. Marvel's making a movie called The Eternals, and it's like every piece of news about this movie is, oh, I've never heard a pitch in my entire career better than the pitch for The Eternals. Or it's like, this is going to be the greatest movie. Or like Tom Holland just came out and it's like, yeah, Spider-Man 3 is going to be the most ambitious superhero movie ever made. I'm just like, dude, no, it's not. It's just not. And even if it is, I don't care. Just like, why? Like, I don't know why it gets under my skin, but
I don't think you can have any superhero movie that'll be as ambitious as the Avengers movies.
Yes, 100%.
Just because there was so many different storylines and character styles that you had to jam into one movie.
Yeah, I mean, love it or hate it, no one can deny that Avengers Endgame, nothing like it had been done ever before. And in my opinion, I think it would be very difficult to do something like that ever again.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I think that might be okay.
Yes, totally. Oh, yikes. Missed the ramp there.
Well, that shrub did not want to go away.
But yeah, not every movie needs to be the greatest movie ever. Also, sorry, Alexander, I missed you in the chat, but what's up? Welcome. Welcome from Germany.
Thank you, Shane, for joining us.
Yes.
Yeah, because the Tron movies, I do kind of feel like they're not particularly great storylines, but they're really cool to watch and have really great music.
Yeah, I think stuff like that definitely has its place, for sure.
And also Jeff Bridges is fun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he's ever really had a bad performance.
Yeah, oh man. Another Jeff Bridges movie that everybody's seen that I haven't is actually the oh god, I'm blanking on even the name, where he plays the dude. I've never...
The Big Lebowski?
Yeah, Big Lebowski. I've never seen The Big Lebowski.
It's an interesting movie. I'm not as into it as a lot of other people are, but it's a good one. It's worth a watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to start getting more comfortable with just, like, throwing movies on and not feeling like I have to dedicate... Because my big issue is, like, I just don't want to dedicate, like, 2 hours of my life. I don't know. I just... Which doesn't make any sense at all. I understand, because I'll easily play a game for 2 hours or watch 2 hours worth of a show. But for whatever reason, a movie, I feel like I have to be like locked in for the whole 2 hours. But that isn't necessarily always the case. I feel like I just gotta start throwing movies on and just like, cause that's how we all used to watch movies when we were younger. They just used to be on. It's like you didn't necessarily, maybe you popped out for 5 minutes at a time, but you still got the gist, and that's how I feel like people are, or particularly myself, I saw so many movies like that when I was younger that if you've seen 95% of a movie, you've seen that movie. I feel like.
Yeah. Except... There's probably I think there are a few movies that do that you do need to see 100%.
Yes,
of it.
no,
Like,
totally. That's not
like
the case for every movie.
The one that jumps to my mind is The Usual Suspects.
Oh,
like,
okay.
You have to watch to the end of that movie.
Ooh.
And I'm assuming that you have not seen it.
I have not, but I used to be They used to be good friends. Played a lot of shows with a band called The Usual Suspect that got their name from that movie. But
And I mean, the unfortunate thing is that it's a Kevin Spacey movie. He does play a significant character.
Yeah.
But it's still a really, really good movie.
Yeah.
And,
What is
I mean,
it? What is that even a? It's about like crime in some way, right?
Yeah, it's a crime movie.
Okay.
About these cops that are trying to catch this really infamous crook, and a big part of the movie is talking to this guy trying to get information about this like crime boss that they're trying to track down, and it's a really good movie, and it is 100% a movie that you need to watch it to the very end.
Dang. Yeah,
I don't want to say anything else.
Yeah, I need to watch more movies in general. I think I'm just not a. I'm so much more of like I just much prefer to either play a game or lately I've just been reading a lot more. But I just need.
Probably
oh,
good.
Man, I'm so bad at this.
I should.
Yeah,
read more.
yeah, it
I
is.
just, I don't know. I have a hard time sitting down and like starting to read a book.
Yeah, I do. I really don't know what. I guess it was just kind of a. I don't really do like New Year's resolutions, but for whatever reason, this year is particularly since I felt like last year was just pretty much a waste of a year, like for
Yeah.
everyone. I was just like, man, I really want to like. I just want to be a reader. Like I just get so jealous of like these people are like, yeah, I've read all these books. It's like how? But it's not. There's no magic. You just got to set aside time to read, and which I've been trying, and I think succeeding to do. Certainly, I mean I've read more this year than I have in the last probably 10 years already. So.
Mhm.
And for me, the Kindle helps. I know there are a lot of like hardcore readers are very anti digital reading, but I mean, everybody just do you. I feel like if you like, for me, the Kindle works so well. I love that thing.
Read the way that works for you.
Yes, totally. And especially like it's got that like e-ink screen. Like it's not even like you're looking at a screen really. It is a screen, but it's so different from normal screens.
Right.
It doesn't strain your eyes, or at least it doesn't strain mine.
Yeah. Well, because it's not emitting any light. Like
Yeah.
Everything that you see, it's being reflected off of
Right.
the screen. It's really interesting. So I watched a video. Let's see, I think it was from what's the YouTube channel? Yeah, Technology Connections, that had this video explaining how e-ink works. It's really interesting that like it actually moves like little bubbles of like ink dye like up or down.
For real?
Like, on the like on the screen, so that like when it's like brought up so you can see it, that it's just moving this ink up and down. It's really, really interesting.
That is so. It's like an Etch-a-Sketch.
a little.
That's crazy.
And now there are color e-ink screens.
Wow, I can't even wrap my head around what that would be like.
Yeah, I mean it's basically like the normal thing, but just with color. It does
Whoa.
look really washed out compared with like an actual screen, though.
Yeah, dude. But one day though, I'm sure they're gonna nail that. I mean, that's gonna be by far the best way to read comic books until the end of time. Once that becomes like a real thing, that is crazy.
It's still bad for anything that uses like motion, so any kind of video.
Sure, yeah.
Because of the nature of an e-ink screen, it
Right.
it can't refresh fast. You'd have to be moving. You'd be moving all those little ink blobs up and down. So, like it can't refresh fast enough. But for anything static, it looks really nice.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah. Alex, is Mecha Lure looks sad. Why are you sad, Mecha? And Alex says, no, I totally forgot about your stream. Let me join. You're on Xbox, right? I am not. Unfortunately, I do not own this game on Xbox. Whoa! I am on PC right now. Unfortunately. If this game is Jeez, take two. If this game is cross-platform, then it's not crossplay. Dang. That's so unfortunate. Every game just needs to be crossplay.
I think we're getting closer to that being
Yeah,
more
I think
common.
you're right. I think you're right. I hope so.
I mean, I feel like the current like cross-platform implementations have been really popular and really successful.
Yeah.
And I think developers and publishers are going to see that and be like, maybe we should start doing this more.
Yeah.
And the fact that like because you and I were just talking recently that NLB the show is developed by a PlayStation, like by a Sony-owned studio, and has like the PlayStation Studios branding on it. But it will be released on Xbox also.
That's so crazy.
From what I read, it's because of a contract stipulation from Major League Baseball. I was like, listen, you guys do a good job, but we want these people to buy from us too.
Right.
So there is going to be an Xbox game that will have PlayStation Studios branding on it, and it just boggles my mind.
That's awesome. I love that. Alex says try inviting. I mean, it's not gonna work, Alex. if it's not crossplay. I wish. And ceased to live. What's up, ceased to live?
Man's just full of surprise.
Alternative name continued to be dead.
Yes. Too much time to die. Never enough time to die. Or whatever the James Bond thing is. Alex says just try, it might be. I mean, Alex, we are definitely not going to be miraculously the first people to ever discover crossplay on this game. Unfortunately, as much as I wish. But unfortunately, it's not going to work. I'll upgrade this vehicle. Really smoke the competition here.
Oh, so something else that I think we could probably talk about a little bit without getting into spoiler territory. I assume that you've still been watching WandaVision?
I have indeed.
So kind of broadly, like, what do you think so far?
So, oh man, this is so weird. So I've actually been doing. I used to do a Marvel podcast with Autoblog senior producer Chris McGraw's brother, Tom McGraw, and we started it back up this year because of WandaVision. So I've been talking a lot about this show. I'm going to try to remember like what I've said on there and on here. I don't think I've said too much on here, but in general, I pretty much hated the first 3 episodes. But I really like the last 2. I wish the whole show was like the last 2 episodes. And I don't get, like, I understand. I totally get what they were trying to do, and for a lot of people, they succeeded for the first 3 episodes. Like, those episodes seem very divisive, and a lot of people really love them. It just wasn't for me. It's just not my thing. But now that now that they're doing more of like the real story and the sitcom story, I'm a huge fan. I am very interested in the twist in the last scene of the last episode. However, I am nervous, very nervous, that that's not an indication of what us nerds think it's an indication of, and it's just going to be like a dumb cameo Easter egg. And if it is a dumb cameo Easter egg, I am going to be furious, like truly furious. I hope that there's a reason they specifically chose that actor to portray that character, and I hope that it's the obvious reason that that most people who are familiar with the Marvel universe and the situation with Marvel characters, I think we all know what we want that to turn into. But I hope it does. But I am worried that it's just gonna be like a funny cameo, and that is gonna really be annoying to me if that's true. But what about you? What's your take on all of it?
So actually, kind of similar feelings about the episode so far.
Yeah.
And this is coming from someone that is not deep in Marvel lore.
Oh yeah, nice.
I've watched a lot of the MCU movies. But I had never heard of or knew about. I don't think this is too spoilery. About the Sword organization.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I don't think Sword's spoilery.
Yeah, I had never heard about it. I don't know anything about it really until I started watching the show, which honestly I kind of think I'm glad, because it's all going to be new and a surprise to me, and I don't have any expectations.
Yeah.
Attuned to his ride, making him
but
so
the first three episodes, I think genuinely, I think the set designers and visual designers deserve some kind of award, because it's amazing how dead on the sets and the camera positions.
Totally.
They're just so dead on for the different decades that they're representing with them. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But holy crap, I hated the writing in it.
Yes.
Because because the thing is, when you actually watch sitcoms from those eras, they
good.
Suck.
You need to pull
No,
back.
they're the real sitcom from those eras, I Love Lucy or The Witch, or a lot of those old sitcoms. They're really good. They've got good writing.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. I hate them, but fair enough, I guess. But see, I felt. Sorry, continue.
But the writing for these, it's they telegraph the jokes way too hard, way in advance, and it just was yes, I knew that was going to happen 2 minutes ago. And I don't know. I just feel they could have had much wittier writing for those shows. It was kind of disappointing.
Yeah. See, I agree on a base level. The part I disagree with is I thought that they when I think of old sitcoms, I think of those just cheesy, awful jokes with a dumb laugh track, and so I felt they nailed it too hard. Jeez, I'm bad at this game. I felt they nailed it too hard, but to be fair, I don't have I've in my entire life maybe seen one episode of I Love Lucy and one episode of Bewitched, but so I just have that perception of them that they're corny, and it's just aggressively not for me. Really not my thing. But
well, and they can definitely be corny, but they actually do get good lines out of those shows.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. Totally fair enough. But regardless, they did not do that for WandaVision's interpretation.
Yeah, and it kind of felt like a lot of sort of the slightly meta jokes about shows of those times. Everybody has made a billion times already. And so it was it's not even saying anything new about those old shows. It's just kind of making the same jokes everybody makes about them.
Yeah. And it's there's more, for those first 3 episodes, I think I really enjoyed talking about them way more than I enjoyed watching them. Because, Chris McGraw, senior producer at Autoblog, brought up the fact that even in those first 3 episodes, and I thought this was super cool, something I didn't personally notice, that like all of the camera movements and angles were like 100% correct for those time periods until the scenes where I would consider them almost like horror-like scenes, like where
when things start going wrong.
and then
I
the
noticed
camera
that,
movements become more modern. I was like, oh, that's actually like that's super impressive and interesting. For me, it didn't make up for the fact that I had to suffer through whatever those first 3 episodes were, and I think they would have been fine. My big thing is I think they would have been fine if we would have seen any amount of like the real story. Like that essentially was 3 entire episodes of a prologue, I feel like, and that's just too much. I feel like we get the idea. Like
and like any time that there was some hint at like something weird is going on, I was like, oh, this is very interesting. But then we just didn't get anything else until episode 4 when it finally kind of, okay, here's what's going on.
Yes, and I feel episode 4, I was like, finally, like this is the show I wanted to watch. I wish I would have been watching for the first 3 episodes, but that's fine. We got the context. We're moving on now. I'm excited for next week's episode now, for sure.
Yeah. I think these I agree with you. These last 2 episodes have really, like, now I'm excited for more.
Yes, totally. The first 3 I was powering through on the promise that Marvel knows what they're doing, and but yeah, now I'm totally with you. This is the first week where I'm genuinely like I'm psyched for Friday. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen. And actually, my mom in the chat said I almost stopped watching WandaVision after the first 3 episodes. The last 2 were a little better. I think my mom is looking for a big all-out like action type of thing, which I do think is coming. They've said that like the last 3 episodes are gonna be essentially a Marvel movie, which is like good. That's what I want. But
this is me not being like super big Marvel fan. I don't necessarily want them to go like full Marvel movie type stuff on this show, because I still think the whole idea of like old TV shows and stuff is a really, really cool kind of setting and visual style. So the more that they can blend those 2 together, the more I'm excited about it.
Gotcha. Okay. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I think just the whole, like, the conceit just doesn't work for me on any level. But I absolutely understand, like, it's either split down the middle or I am in the minority there. So I totally, I totally understand and know that. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something about it that I'm just like, this show, for me only, this show would be so much better if the gimmick was not sitcoms. I just don't get it. I don't know.
Well, I think I remember from like the trailers, I think they're going to experiment with other types of TV too. Because I think weren't there trailers showing like sort of more like Law and Order crime drama type scenes and things, and like...
Well, I think you may be thinking of the Loki show, where I don't think... I guess I could be wrong, but I'm 90% sure that's not going to be the case for WandaVision. I think WandaVision is going to continue into, like, Full House and Modern Family, essentially, which are still going to be sitcoms. But I know for the Loki show coming up, there's a scene of him... basically as like DB Cooper, and it's gonna be kind of crime-ish.
Just glide into it.
Yeah, but I'm not sure for WandaVision. And in fact, WandaVision only had it's half over. I think
is it just a 1-season thing and that's it?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh. I thought it was gonna be like a couple seasons, but
no, yeah, I think it's a 1-season thing, because at the end of this, I can only assume, and I mean, this is not really, this is only a spoiler if you have never seen an Avengers movie, but like, Vision is dead. Vision is not alive. Thanos ripped that stone out of his face and he died. And so like at the end of this series, I mean, I'm gonna assume maybe they bring him back, but I don't know. I'm gonna assume that character is gonna be dead, and they're just gonna move on to like the next series in sequential order. But I could be wrong. I mean, I guess I could see them, if any of the series get popular, doing a season 2. But
well,
yeah.
I guess that was kind of my assumption that like, well, if they're gonna keep doing this show, like they're running out of decades really fast.
Yeah.
Gone through 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s now. We don't have a lot of decades left.
Yeah, totally.
But kind of my thinking was like, we've got a lot of Marvel movies. We've got a lot of other Marvel shows also. Like I was excited that WandaVision was going to do kind of a different visual style and narrative style than other Marvel stuff, because it's like we're going to have a lot. We're going to have a lot of like traditional Marvel stuff. Like I'm down for something a little different.
Totally. No, that is totally fair. That is totally fair. I just I just wish it hit a little better for me. Because
well, and now that we have a better idea of like what's actually going on, I think that's going to help too, because a lot of like the first 3 episodes I was like, okay, I know something weird is going on, but like I'm not getting anything else.
Yeah. And I think the last 2 episodes, they did make me enjoy the first 3 episodes retroactively more than I did as I was watching them, for sure.
Yeah. Because I mean, I even remember like when they did like the commercial break in the first episode, I was like, this is weird on its own. And then also noticing that like the little red dot on the appliance was actually red. I was like,
You're in the perfect place to be
okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
But what I don't know what it means.
Right. Yeah, it seems and again, this really isn't spoilery at all. And because in fact I don't even know if it's true, it's just a theory, but it seems like
a toy box for grown-ups.
Oh wow, what is this we're in here? It seems like those commercials are basically like highlighting Wanda's past trauma, which is, so I did not realize this until it was pointed out to me, but in the first episode, the product is called a Toastmate, and it was built by Stark Industries, which everybody got that reference, but the reference that I missed was Toastmate, because at the end of Avengers Endgame, Wanda's mate was toast. Vision was killed, and so that's that really, when that was brought up to me,
a little bit of a stretch.
So I don't think it is. I don't think it is, because then the next, like, all of them have been directly related to Wanda's personal traumas on some level, and I feel like that's I don't know. I was really sold on that theory personally. I feel like the mate being toast, because what else? Like, it obviously had a reason. I feel like.
I mean, I get that. I just kind of feel like I just feel a little bit like the toast mate specifically. It seems like a little bit of a stretching for a connection there, but
I don't know. I mean, why else call it the toast mate? What a weird name, you know? Like,
well,
unless
I mean,
it was a purpose.
It's also a name that sounds a lot like what a 50s toaster would be called.
True. I'm trying to think. Do you remember the second? I know the second one was a commercial for the Strucker watch. Yeah.
And
which
it had like Hydra logos on it.
Yeah. Because for anybody who doesn't know, Baron von Strucker is he was the villain in Captain America Winter Soldier, I think Captain America Civil War, and his whole deal is he wants to basically end superheroes, and I feel like the fact that it was a watch is like Wanda's seems to be running out of time, and like you said, they're going through these decades quickly, in this show. And I guess minor spoiler, but it's obvious to anyone, I think. So spoiler for WandaVision for the next 5 seconds, I guess. But it seems pretty obvious that Wanda is the one controlling all of this on some level. And yeah, I feel like the watch thing is like she's running out of time. And there's one for the... I forget what the third one was. What was the last one? Had an interesting one too that I felt like was super on the nose.
Yeah, I'm forgetting it for some reason.
Yeah, but no, I've been super sold on the theory that that all the commercials are like Wanda's past traumas.
No, I agree with that. I just thought that maybe it was a little bit of a stretch, that one, but maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like the whole thing is I would agree if the whole thing didn't seem centered around her. Again, I guess minor spoilers again for the next 15 seconds, but the whole thing seems to be her. I mean, she clearly, on some level, brought Vision back. And it seems like the whole thing, and they even said it's like, what do you want? And she said, I have everything I want. And to me, that's what she wants is Vision, and just like a normal life with Vision. And Thanos took that from her when he ripped the Infinity Stone out of Vision's head. But yeah, ultimately, all of that basically is just like theories and guessing. But I'm super excited to see what it is actually going to be and like what the deal actually is. Because on the one hand, it does seem like Wanda's controlling everything, but on the other hand, Vision seems pretty autonomous at points. Like, he seems like he has a mind of his own, you know? So, I don't know, but I'm... all that is to say, I'm very intrigued by the last few episodes, and I'm really excited for the next episode.
Yeah, and I think the idea of one of the Avengers maybe not being quite as super heroic.
Yeah, she's seeming pretty villainous.
Yeah, I think that's interesting because that's the kind of
same.
stuff that you don't really see except in like Batman stuff.
Yeah,
kind of that moral gray area.
Totally. Yeah, I totally feel like this last episode specifically really started to paint her as a villain, which I really like a lot. And also Elizabeth Olsen is such a ridiculously good actress it doesn't even make sense. I feel like she is really killing the part here, for sure. Definitely the best of the Olsen sisters. For sure. She had her glow up a lot later in life than the twins did, but
Wait, she's actually related to Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen?
Yeah, they're...
I had no idea.
Now that you know that, you for sure... I mean, there's definitely a family resemblance, for sure. But yeah, she is... I forget if she's older or younger. She must be slightly younger. But...
That's wild.
Yeah, isn't it? But she... I feel like
which
she's
actually also,
good.
it's like, hang on, if they don't have like some sort of cameo with the twins...
Right, exactly,
in, like,
from
in,
the
like,
Full
90s
House.
sitcom stuff.
Yeah. 100%, you would think they would, but... yeah. I don't know how much fourth wall breaking they want to do. But we will, even though... So this was another interesting thing that I thought... that I did not catch on my viewing, but yeah, my co-host for this podcast, Chris's brother, caught. This one is kind of a spoiler. It's not a crazy spoiler alert, but kind of a spoiler alert for not the most recent episode, but 2 episodes ago of WandaVision. Oh no, 3 episodes ago of WandaVision. When, spoiler alert for the next 30 seconds. When Wanda throws Monica Rambeau out of the anomaly, she's literally throwing her through the 4th wall. Which blew my mind a little bit. She goes through 4 different walls and then ends up on the end through the fourth wall outside of the sitcom, and I was like, all right. I mean, I'm impressed by that. That is
That's also
that is
a
interesting.
long way. That's also a long way for a really corny joke.
Totally. But I think they. I mean, you know, they're probably like, yeah, let's have her just throw her out, and then somebody was probably like, yeah, let's throw her through 4 different walls. but no, I enjoyed that for sure. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it now in the past few episodes for sure. Also, I literally haven't even been doing anything specific in this game for the past like 20 minutes, but I am really enjoying doing monster truck tricks on this half pipe.
Actually,
awesome.
something I was going to mention a little bit ago when you were driving around in downtown Vegas on the Strip, it's like that actually looks pretty dead on.
Yes, it
for
does.
The Vegas Strip.
It
like
does.
I could recognize the different casinos and like the shopping center across from like the Wynn and the its sister hotel.
Yeah.
like,
so from what I can tell, they did get like the essence for a lot of the different areas right, and again, Detroit included. I just was yeah, because my buddy who lived there was like, oh yeah, that's this road and this highway and whatever. But I feel like just the vibe was wrong for Detroit specifically. But I'm sure it's much more on point than I gave it credit for.
Because like in the first one, I didn't really get super far into it, but like driving around Chicago and like downtown Detroit, both of them felt really pretty close to. Like I could recognize places where I was and like roughly know where I was going. Like in the first one, you can drive around under the Ambassador Bridge and up near the Renaissance Center and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In Chicago, you can go down Lakeshore Drive and things. And it's like this is pretty neat. And like
awesome.
Obviously, everything in between has been stretched or squished or condensed because well, the in between stuff is not that distinctive.
Yeah, totally.
You see one cornfield, you've seen most of them.
Yeah, and that is about 50% of the country.
And that's coming from a guy that grew up in Indiana and likes Indiana, and also went to college in Kansas and likes Kansas.
Yeah, I mean,
but I mean, you see one wheat field, you see one cornfield, you've seen most of them.
You've seen them all. That is for sure. So this is, by the way, everybody, the stream, well, I guess we'll probably just wrap it up right now. We don't have time to do another race, but generally we do this from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock every Tuesday, right here on Twitch and YouTube. But before I get into the outro spiel here, do you have any closing thoughts on anything at all, Joel? Anything you've been working on the site that you want to point people to, maybe?
So, in general, this month is going to be a big one for car news. Like I mentioned, last week we had F-150 Raptor and Frontier. This week we've got the Audi e-tron GT that was just shown today. Let's see, we've got new Chevy Bolt electric cars coming out next week.
Oh, nice.
And also next week, the new Mitsubishi Outlander. And also the new Honda HR-V, and also at some point this month, we don't have a specific date yet, the Ioniq 5, which will be a new electric car from Hyundai for their new electric brand, Ioniq. So this month is going to be a big one for car reveals, and so you'll definitely want to be tuning into Autoblog periodically throughout the month to catch all this cool car launch news.
Yeah. That is absolutely for sure. Oh man, and just my AMG said, what an awesome stream it is. Well, thank you. Just my AMG.
Yeah,
that is very appreciated.
Glad you enjoyed it because we had a car heavy first like half hour to an hour. And then got super nerdy with other stuff.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's the sweet spot. That's ideal. For sure. But yeah, no, thank you for joining me, Joel, as always. It was a some great conversation today. Oh, also, I miss my mom saying I grew up watching old TV, so I'm ready for new. Yeah, fair. But anyways, yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. This is the Autoblog live stream. Like I said, we stream weekly on Tuesday on Twitch and YouTube. If you are unaware, this is a stream basically for a website. Our website is autoblog.com. We both work for Autoblog. We're a great resource for automotive news and reviews, like Joel was just saying. Tune in all month this month. We're going to have all kinds of stories up on all the new car reveals and everything that's going on in the car world. We're also all over social media. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok as well. So check us out there. We do have a podcast. It is called the Autoblog Podcast, and on top of a podcast, we also have this new thing called the Autoblog Daily Digest. So you can find it in whatever podcatcher, or you can just ask your smart speaker to read you the Autoblog Daily Digest, and it's every day. It's about 2 or 3 minutes or so of just the car news for the previous day. So if you just want to get caught up, if you couldn't get onto the site for a day or whatever, it's just a super quick, super easy way. It's called the Autoblog Daily Digest, so check that out as well. We have a merch store that is at redbubble.com/people/autoblog, or you can just search for Autoblog on redbubble.com, or you can go to the link in our Twitch bio. We have t-shirts, like jigsaw puzzles, rewashable, reusable face masks, coffee mugs, things like that. So all kinds of cool stuff in the merch store. So check that out if you are interested. And then I think that's everything. But last but not least, I always like to end these by saying if you have a charity or a organization that you like, that you feel like makes the world a better place, consider donating to that charity or volunteering some time. It's usually a lot easier than you would expect, and if everybody in our community can just can give the smallest amount of money, or you can give like half an hour to an hour, even every month, that can start to make an impact. So I definitely encourage everybody to do something like that if you can. And that is gonna do it for the stream today. So we will be back on next Tuesday, 1 week from today, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So thanks again, Joel, and thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you then. Adios.